Empirical testing of unexplained phenomenon is what allows science to answer many of life's questions. But sometimes, even scientific theory can't comprehend some events that take place. Whether it be mysterious floating orbs of color or low-frequency background noises, there are plenty of events around the world that still remain a complete mystery. In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 of the most mysterious events that science cannot explain. Events that have, in some cases, baffled people for centuries. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every day for more amazing content. With that being said, let's begin. Number 5. Dark streaks appearing on Mars. The quest for life in our universe outside Earth has obsessed humanity ever since we realized that it was so vast. With so much to explore, we have to start somewhere. The natural places to try are within our own solar system, and for a long time people have dreamt of the possibility of it existing on one of our nearest neighbors, Mars. Probes have been sent with sometimes conflicting information, but the appearance of dark streaks across the surface of Mars that have shown up in images taken of the red planet have baffled scientists. Could it be the signs of an alien civilization carving canals into the rock, or just as exciting, proof of the presence of liquid water on the planet? If it was the latter, this would prove that life was at least possible there, because water is one of the fundamental ingredients to life being present on our own planet. Research released in 2015 concluded that they could very well be formed by flowing water, and their presence across the planet's surface would suggest there's far more liquid there than anyone had previously dared to think. Probes sent to the planet have tried to get to the bottom of it, but failed, leading to more conjecture than actual proof. To those hoping for an exciting discovery, their hopes might have been dashed in November 2017 by a new report that was released that has concluded the lines are, in fact, a product of flowing sand as opposed to water. The thousands of lines that can be seen stretching away from the equator that occasionally appear and disappear were suggested to more resemble what you'd expect when the environment blows sand particles into streaks. While this doesn't discount the presence of water, it's likely in small amounts, say the researchers. NASA, though, have said that the jury is still out, although they admit the truth may not be as exciting as gushing waterfalls and flowing rivers. They aren't 100% either way, though, and it's a mystery that will keep on going. Number 4. Gelatinous rain. In 1994, residents of Oakville in Washington woke up to a surprise. During the storm that morning, instead of raindrops falling from the sky, they realized that what was falling appeared to be large numbers of gelatinous blobs. In the following days after the event, almost everyone in the town started becoming ill with flu-like symptoms that lasted for between 7 weeks and a few months. Understandably, everyone was horrified by this, and one resident took a sample and sent it to a lab for analysis. Instead of finding large amounts of gelatin or some sort of material similar to frog spawn, the results came back with something startling: the presence of human white blood cells. The sample was then sent to the state's Department for Health for further testing, and this time they found that there were 2 distinct types of bacteria within the material, one of which is commonly found in the human digestive system. While they were able to identify the constituent parts, no one had any idea what could form the blobs in the first place, or more worryingly, how it was able to fall from the sky onto an unsuspecting town. This strange occurrence didn't only happen once either. In total, it fell on the area 6 different times in a period of 6 weeks, with dozens of people falling ill and causing a number of pets to die. The following year, another lab tested further samples and discovered them to contain eukaryotic cells, which would lend to the theory that the material had come from a living organism. This time, though, there were no signs of the human blood cells that had been previously found, and there were no more samples available of the blobs because they had either been disposed of or decayed. Since the events of those fateful months in 1994, the phenomenon hasn't occurred again as far as anyone knows, so the whole thing remains a complete mystery. Were there actually blood cells in the gooey substance? If not, what creature could such large quantities have come from, and why did it make people so ill? Worse still, how could it have rained down on top of a town? It seems, unless it happens again, we'll never know for sure. Number 3. The miracle of the sun. The miracle of the sun is a phenomenon that purportedly took place in Portugal in 1917 in a religious event that in 2017 was recognized as a miracle by the Catholic Church. So the story goes, in 1916 there were 2 children tending to their flock of sheep near the village of Fatima who witnessed an apparition of an angel. They said he was transparent and shining like a crystal, and as suddenly as it had appeared, after uttering the phrase, "Do not be afraid, I am the angel of peace, pray with me," it had vanished again. The angel visited the children another 2 times that year, but in 1917, things began to escalate. On May 13th, the Virgin Mary appeared to the children, dressed in white and shining brighter than the sun with rays of light emanating in all directions. It spoke to them and promised to return every month on the 13th. News of the sighting spread, and on the 3rd sighting of Mary, the children said she divulged secrets of the future. Stories spread like wildfire around the region, and despite the children's refusal to recount the story to religious authorities, people started to believe. On September 13th, 30,000 people went to the site of the apparent visitation, but only the children were able to see her. According to them, she said she would perform a miracle the following month so all would believe. So on October 13th, 1917, a crowd of 70,000 people arrived to witness the miracle, and they couldn't believe their eyes at what happened next. The day was cloudy and rainy, so they were all wrapped up warm. At about 2 p.m. though, the rains parted and the sun emerged from behind the clouds and began to spin and tremble in the sky for 10 minutes. It was astonishing as the sun appeared to dance in front of their eyes, beaming strange colors all around. All those present witnessed the strange phenomenon, which was also described by people living up to 25 miles away. Now, it's unlikely this was actually a miracle, and the sun has been known to do strange things. Eclipses in the ancient world would scare civilizations into a state of frenzy, so it's quite possible it was simply an unknown solar process. The thing is, to this day, no one can explain the mysterious event as it was recalled by all those that were there. Was it a case of mass hysteria, or simply a solar event not witnessed since? It's difficult to know for sure, but perhaps one day we'll all get the chance to witness this miracle for ourselves. Number 2. The hum. The hum is the term used to describe a range of unexplained phenomenon, all that involve people hearing a mysterious low droning noise, sometimes causing severe pain and strange occurrences in the surrounding areas, even being blamed in one case for a suicide. The hum has been heard all around the world, from Canada to the UK, and is often explained as being the result of a phone mast, vibrating pipes, or even submarine communications. One person described the noise as a diesel car idling in the distance, and something that becomes increasingly agitating the longer it continues for. Some doctors even tried to explain the mystery as a form of collective tinnitus, until recordings and evidence of the hum were shared after some high-profile occurrences. There seems to be no correlation between where the hum occurs, and it can happen anywhere on the planet. Of course, conspiracy theorists have got their own ideas. Perhaps it could be alien communications, secret weapons testing, or a number of secretive happenings, but no one seems to know for sure. All that is certain is that it's an actual phenomenon, but recently, an interesting theory has come forward. Researchers published a paper in a journal of the American Geophysical Union, which they claim has made a giant stride in identifying what this mysterious signal is. They suggest that it's a result of microseismic activity that's caused by long ocean waves impacting the seabed. This effectively makes the whole planet vibrate and causes the humming noise in certain areas. The extreme pressure of the waves on the seabed cause a low-level oscillation and can produce sounds that last between 13 and 300 seconds. It can only be heard by people with particularly sensitive hearing and seismic monitors, so that explains why only certain groups are aware of it. There isn't any direct proof that this theory is correct though, and the scientific community is still at loggerheads about whether they even believe the hum exists, let alone what the true cause of it is. It's a mystery that's confused people for decades and shows no sign of abating anytime soon. Number 1. Naga Fireballs. The Naga Fireballs are a phenomenon that's witnessed by countless people every year, but despite their confirmed existence, scientists still have absolutely no clue what's happening. During the full moon in October, crowds gather at the banks of the Mekong River between Thailand and Laos. Legend has it that a giant hooded river serpent uses this time to travel up the river, and in the process spits out glowing red fireballs into the sky. This is the Phayunak Festival, the celebration of the return of Lord Buddha, and while it's a religious ceremony, the fireballs are all too real. During this time, giant balls of glowing light can be seen rising from the river to the heavens. There are countless videos online of this happening, where you can see orange specks raising up and vanishing to the oohs and ahs of spectators as if it were a fireworks display. Now, before you get too excited about going to see this, there is a catch. While you can go see these floating lights in real life, these days they are actually just fireworks as part of the festival. But this hasn't always been the case. The legend of the river serpent, Naga, is a prominent one across India and southeastern cultures, and many people truly believe that the serpent does exist within the water somewhere. The real clincher, though, is that on occasion the lights can still be seen, even though there's no celebrations or fireworks in sight. In fact, records of the lights being witnessed go back hundreds of years and are the basis of the Naga legend. The Wat Luang Temple apparently has centuries-old written records that detail them, and there are reports from British soldiers from the 60s that mention them in explicit detail. This isn't the only place in the world where such phenomena supposedly occur either, with a number of cultures referring to strikingly similar encounters despite living on opposite sides of the globe. Super exciting news, everybody! The time has finally come. Head over to Come Along and enjoy the positivity from cool life hacks and crazy experiments to real-life shocking facts and puzzles and animated riddles to keep your brain active and entertained. Click the circle button on the screen right now to subscribe to this awesome channel that's soon to explode across YouTube. Come on, press that subscribe button and watch the first video, or click the link in the description. We promise you'll love it.